You're running full speed, but the markets are faster. Quasar Markets Live brings the world's top financial minds to you. Everything you need to know in one place. Learn from elite educators and gain a competitive edge, leveling the playing field for you. Join the conversation. Quasar Markets Live.
Good morning, Quasar Markets Live, 8:30 a.m. You've got your man Howard here, Hondo, looking at what's going on in the pre-market so far. We've had a tale of two mornings. The NASDAQ had been pretty decent up until about 7:15, and we've been in a little bit of a free fall since then. So now down about 80 basis points. So we have seen a little bit of a shift. We were fairly just muted. Now we've seen ourselves go more risk off tone. Volatility back in play, shot back above 20 here this morning. So the volatility index showing us too that folks are worried about, a bunch of different things. Is the economy going the right way? Are we spending too much money on AI? Are we going to war with Iran? Are we going to do something about the war in the Ukraine? The dollar keeps going up. Rates keep going up. What is the Fed going to do? Is it going to have its independence under Warsh? So there's just a whole bunch of uncertainty, which is why we see the volatility is back up. Rates are actually slightly down here today. Bigger news on rates is Europe just announced that they're holding rates steady. But you can see we got a pretty big move down here overnight on the 10-year. It was on, they were pushing versus 4.3, now down towards 4.25 and a little below that. So rates are cooling off. Maybe that gives the market its, battles off or evens off with VIX. I don't know. That's sort of the battle we'll see here once we get into the open. I mean, yesterday got very ugly, obviously. But I will say, in general, it was a very narrow amount of losers. They were just the big major names. When you have things like NVIDIA and AMD and Google and all those huge mega caps going down, doesn't matter if the other, 490 stocks within the S&P 500 go up. Because of the way the weightings work, the indices go down. So that's what we really saw yesterday. I will point out, and my main man Charlie Moon over at Prosper shared a tweet where this has only happened like 4 times in the past, and 3 times out of the times it's happened, we've seen a very big rebound by the SPX over the next 3 days. So let's see if that plays out. Would love to see it. Commodity side, they're cooling off. Silver really cooling off, trying its best to act like it's a cryptocurrency. Down about 12.5% here. Did bounce nicely off the bottom of the linear regression. Again, so that support level held. This the second time it held here. But not really showing a lot of a V-shaped formation. Maybe we're getting a little bit of a U-shaped recovery here. We'll see. But silver definitely under pressure. down 33% this week. And like I said, a little over 12% overnight. We do see a little bit of a pullback on oil too. So while we haven't gotten great news out of the Middle East, they have said they're going, both sides have said they are going to go to the negotiating table tomorrow in Oman, but that has been back and forth all morning. So we'll see. Again, tweet analysis has really been a big part of your technical analysis right now. And crypto, Bitcoin below 70K. So lost that 70K handle. And still definitely under pressure. Not much I can say positive on the price action at all. Ethereum holding up a little bit better overnight, but we're definitely seeing risk off in that area. Definitely seeing what we see during a crypto bear market. This is nothing that we haven't seen in the past. I think Joe Kernan had the best line for why calmness in some of us. If you bought your first Bitcoin like he did at 4,000 when it's at 70, you're not really sweating it too much. Those are the situations for a lot of people. We had a great interview I saw on CNBC with the CEO of Bullish that was explaining all of the great stuff that's happening on blockchain right now, on chain, and what's happening with institutional money and institutions. So I do suggest take a look at that. Great info. With that being said, what are we seeing? We're seeing that a lot of the popular trades are starting to unravel. These mega cap AI capex numbers are sending shockwaves, as we've seen. NVIDIA had done the nice bounce back, but again, it's pulled off of that and almost gone negative for the day. It was up again around 178.38 earlier. Now back down at 174.87. And you can see red across the megas again. Microsoft down almost 2%. Google had its earnings. We'll get into that a little later, but down 3.74% on good earnings. But I mean, they're spending the GDP of some small nations or maybe even mid-sized nations on their CapEx spend in the next year. So we'll see how that plays out. Hey there, Ida. Great to see you. Hope you're having a good start to your day in San Diego there. Apple down about 25 basis points. They are the earnings monster tonight. We'll see. Can they, rebound them? Excuse me. They are not. I keep saying Apple. It's Amazon. I've done that. That's the second day in a row. So at least I'm consistent. Apple only down about 25 basis points. Their big announcement was the release of the newer version of their Apple Intelligence backed by Gemini. Amazon, who does have earnings today after the bell, down about 1.5% here going into those earnings. Overnight, we'll see what we get there. That will be a big one. Their expected revenue of about $211 billion and an EPS just south of $2 here. We'll see how they play out. Meta is down about 1.2% this morning. Tesla under more pressure, down 1.72%. And the only bright spot is Netflix, up 95 basis points. And we have seen some of the communication area is up in general, so they seem to maybe be getting some wins from there. And the sectors of the S&P so far, we see a mixed bag, but more are so far in the red than the green. Biggest gainer so far is consumer staples. That's been that sector rotation into defensives, right? Walmart, Costco have looked good. FedEx, UPS have looked good. Steve talked about it yesterday. I'll ask him to explain a little bit more today about Dow theory and how they feel that's playing out right now. We also do see the healthcare sector catching a bid. Most of that could be Bristol Myers, who had strong earnings that we'll talk about in a little bit. So I don't want to read too much into that one. I think it could be, a smaller sector of that. And we do see utilities are slightly up. Biggest laggards are consumer discretionary, communication, technology, energy, all of those pretty big laggards. fairly neutral out of financials and real estate, also down, but down slightly. That's what we see so far. One of the let's get into the individual winners and losers so far and see what we have there. And one of the earnings winners is Tenable Holdings, up about 8% here. So we do see one software winner. We know that they have gotten drilled, and we are seeing some outperforms come in from Wedbush, $28 price target by Needham. So that software company on solid earnings is moving up. I will say, though, it's not even retraced its yesterday's losses. So while it had great earnings, again, that would be the key there. Another name that was up in the mornings, down a little bit from those top levels, is Siri XM. I mentioned some parts of communication, satellite business are moving to the upside. This is one of them, it was up as high as 8.3%. Now up about 6.13%, trading at 22. If it can hold this 22 handle, kind of interesting because it gives it room and a nice little pop for maybe a nice move up towards that 22.50 spot. So Siri looking good here. Some of the semis names are getting a little bit of a bid. We see Form, FORM, up about 6.12% after their earnings came in. They had an EPS beat by about 30%, and top line revenue at $215 million was about a 2.5% beat there also. So good start there. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. We do appreciate that. If you could do us a huge favor, hit the like button, follow us, and share maybe the feed with others. That would really help us get this algorithm going and reach more retail traders. Along with Form, we see other names in that sector. SYM, Symbotic, that's up about 3%. It was up further. Like I said, a lot of these are now pulling back. So semis had taken a nice turn to the upside. It does look like a lot of them are pulling back down from those levels. Let's check out TSEM. Yeah, they all are sort of pulling back from that narrative. So semis did have a bid. That bid could be over. The other sector is China. Volatility definitely been there. We know they were down tremendously throughout most of the last several sessions, but a nice bounce back here by names like Baidu, Bilibili, PDD, the parent company of TikTok, TCOM, Lee, and others. So Chinese ADR names are a basket that's perking up. Again, seems like a little pullback on some of them, but one of the stronger sectors that I'm seeing so far this morning. We have seen a move into some of the defensive names. Hershey, HSY, one to keep an eye on here today. Up about 6% over the last 2 days. So this rotation into the defensives, Dow theory, it does seem to be playing out here. Mondelez, another one there that was on the early morning watch list, up about 1.13%. And also Colgate-Palmolive, up almost 2% in the last 2 trading sessions. So we do see that some of these have had good days. Other things that are moving up so far this morning. Zoom is moving to the upside. So one weird outlier to that software narrative is Zoom. Maybe this is where, more of a connection to that Siri XM connection. I don't know, but Zoom is moving up here today. Up about 6% again over the last two trading sessions. So another one that looks pretty good. From the losers, we're seeing some definite gap downers. Biggest loser so far today is Fluence Energy. So we do see a little bit of that clean energy storage getting a hit. They did have earnings. Those earnings were not very good. They had an EPS miss of about 64% and a slight revenue miss of about 1.5%. So not really solid there at all. We did see Qualcomm got hit also after their earnings, down about 10% here. They had even dropped much further. And their warning was that there's a memory supply shortage and then that would affect their shipments and their ability to scale up. SD Lauda, which had gone up as soon as its earnings report started, now moved way to the day's downside, down about 10%. The consumer brand has some demand sensitivity issues. And again, their earnings not so good. Peloton also on that sort of consumer discretionary side, down 9%, almost 10% earlier. They had an earnings miss. They did also give a weak outlook. Their subscribers are falling off, and that is the main metric that folks seem to pay attention to with them, right? So that has definitely put things in the negative there. Most of the crypto adjacent names also under a lot of pressure today. We see MSTR down 7%. They do have earnings today. We also see Riot down another 6.2% here. CleanSpark down 5.5%. Figure, the stablecoin company, down 5.6%. And crypto miner Mara down about 5.43%. So again, we do see a lot of weakness as Bitcoin unable to hold that 70K level, has all of the crypto adjacent names also getting hit here pretty hard. We do see some of the metals, some of the rare earth names also, miners were under a little bit of pressure. LITE, Lumenthium Holdings down about 6.5%. USAR down about 4.5-5% here also. Did also see Western Digital's under a little bit of pressure here. One of the defense contractors, Huntington Ingalls, going into their earnings, down about 6% here. So we do see a mixed bag across all of the different sectors here. Most of the chatter has been based around, Google's earnings last night. We needed them to sort of calm the AI fears. That didn't happen. And that, definitely sent software stocks into a broader meltdown. They told investors on late Wednesday that it will spend, and this number still blows me away, as much as $185 billion on AI investments this year. That's a 55% increase from last year's record tally and more than the total of the last 3 years combined. So, I mean, just an immense CapEx spend. Their CEO said that it is with eyes on the future, and they expect the demand they're seeing across the board, across their services, to continue to be exceptionally strong. So again, they're saying they can pay for it. That, the same sort of thing we heard from Meta. Yes, we're going to spend a mid-sized nation's GDP on CapEx, but we also make a mid-sized nation's GDP a year, and we can afford to do that. So we do have Amazon coming today, and we'll see what they have to say. They are one of the biggest AI companies also. Will they be spending eye-watering amounts of cash? Can they start to define some of the returns? Because that's another problem we've had is, as we heard AMD CEO say the other day, we do think that these billions and trillions in revenue are coming. We just can't tell you when, because we don't know when everything sort of plays out. That's putting a lot of stress on these markets, in my opinion, and seems to be one of the issues that we're definitely facing here. Some of the other names that have done earnings, I did say earlier that Bristol Myers might be one of the reasons that we are seeing healthcare up slightly here this morning. Up about 1.5% this morning, up almost 3% yesterday. They did have better than expected fourth quarter earnings, but even better than that, they gave a good upbeat outlook for the future. They came in with adjusted earnings at $1.26 a share, toppling their analyst consensus, and their revenue ticked up about 1% to $12.5 billion. The biopharma's giants full year guidance handily beat expectations. They do see adjusted earnings going up to $6.05 or $6.35 a share. Both of those numbers, even the low end estimate above what forecast had been by the analyst. That has been a great barometer for the market, or for these stocks when they're doing that. They guided for revenue of about $46 billion, again beating expectations. They did say revenue declined about 15% within its legacy drug portfolio, partly due to increased competition from generics. And one of their cancer drugs saw a huge drop, which was there. But their bright spot seems to be the higher demand for Eliquis, the blood thinner co-developed with Pfizer, and it more than offset for the weakness by the rest of the portfolio. And that's how tech and pharma work. They hit grand slams. When you get a grand slam, it makes up for a bunch of different strikeouts. So, that's what you see there without a doubt. The company's full year outlook reflects anticipated revenue decline of about 12% to 16% for the legacy portfolio. But again, they expect to see continued strength within the growth portfolio to balance it out. Growth portfolio revenue was about $7.4 billion last quarter, up 16% from last year. And a skin cancer drug that they have, Opdivo, was the main driver there, logged about $2.7 billion in worldwide revenue. We can see they're going to open up very close to their regaining their 52-week high that was back over here, although they won't, they still got some room to do, $63. They're slated to open at 58, but nice recovery for sure from Bristol Myers. Started on their last earnings call. You can see on that day they gapped up from 42 to 43. This is a little stop between, right in this spot at 58. So nice little run over the last quarter for Bristol Myers. Let's take a look at COP, ConocoPhillips. Gas and oil company is falling after missing estimates. They blamed oil prices. I mean, that makes sense, right? The oil exploration and production company reported adjusted earnings of about $1.02 a share, so about a nickel below where expectations were. Earnings fell sharply from the $1.98 per share a year ago. Company said this drop was primarily due to the impact of lower oil prices. We've been talking about that here on Quasar for months, right? That, part of the reason that inflation has been, in mine and BigBeat's eyes, artificially been reported lower, is that the gas component of it has been a big help there. And, this decrease in the price of oil has definitely put a little bit, and this shows it to you there. They did say they're having a pretty good start to the year off the back of the recent oil price rally. Oil was down around $57 at the end of the year on the WTI, now up around $63, $60. As BigBeat has talked about, is really sort of the key metric they need to hold. When it's above 60, they're making money and they're happy. But the market's not liking it so far. It was yesterday, it hit a 52-week high. has pulled back from there. This is one of the companies that has, been on board with going back into Venezuela. So we'll see how that does move the market one way or the other on them today, but down about 1.69 after their earnings. Let's see what we have going on here. So NASDAQ trying to come off the lows of the day, but struggling right here, right around the last 10 minutes or so. So we're not really getting, the first starts of recovery, starting to do more of, don't like how that's looking on the S&P. So right now on the short term, headed into the pre-market 9 o'clock hour here, markets are not looking particularly strong. Do you see news coming out of the ECB? President Lagarde says we're facing a volatile global policy environment. Planned spending boost could drive up growth by more than expected. Uncertainty could weigh on demand. So she's not giving you a whole lot to go by there. Outlook for inflation is more uncertain than normal. That's saying something about tariffs without saying something about tariffs, right? What's going on there, Zora? How is your day starting off? Do see a couple movers here on earnings reports in the last couple of seconds. S Time Corp. I don't know this company. SITM up about 10% after their earnings. Let's see what we can find on it. Says quarter four and full year 2025 saw revenue and EPS surge led by the CED segment growth and robust demand across all regions. They announced a $1.5 billion acquisition there. So that company up almost 10%. That's just coming in the last few minutes. That jumped to the upside. We also see One Spa World Holdings. Not familiar with them. Jumping up here, up about 8% this morning. So we got a couple of ones coming out of the woodworks here. A little interesting move there. Most eyes are on silver here in the pre-market to see what it does. It is coming towards the lows of the day. Again, it's trying to trade like a crypto today. Bitcoin also under pressure. Got as low as 69K now, trying to bounce back up. But we've got to see that 5% recovery bounce to really feel like the bottom is in, and we have not come close to seeing that yet. Still have downside probably to 68.5 next to area. And if that doesn't hold, look out below for 66 or so. So crypto definitely under pressure here. Looking at the mag, NVIDIA was up nicely 1.5% this morning earlier. Now has just ticked negative here. So we continue to see stress across the major players. Netflix, the only one of the Mag 7 to be in the green today. And yes, Zora, I don't know how you do that out in Oregon to be up this early. You are a trooper. Right now, advanced declines down about 1,900 here. So we are seeing this sell-off today pretty broad to start the day. We'll point out yesterday was not the case. We were fairly neutral and then just sort of died off. Today, we started off down and have just continued to sort of accelerate to the downside. VIX is what's accelerating to the upside, 21.22. So we definitely have fear in the eyes of traders so far this morning. We'll see what BigBeat has to say. These are usually the days when folks are running to the exit that he's willing to buy your tickets. Let's see if that's the case. I do see he's getting ready for us here. We'll run his intro and get him right in to join us.
When markets move, Stephen E. Orr takes the chair. From the White House to Wall Street, he's spent decades at the intersection of policy, markets, and real capital. And he's seen firsthand how institutions use data behind closed doors. Now, as founder of Quasar Markets, his mission is to pull those signals into the open so everyone can see what really moves the markets. This is Stephen E. Orr, Big Beat on Wall Street. Let's filter the future live.
Big Beat, how are you doing this morning? And more importantly, do you have your hands ready to buy some tickets today?
I already am, man. I have never been more bullish on crypto than I am right now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I will tell you, I know one of the first things I'll be doing in my room today is showing everybody the interview done by Bullish's CEO this morning on CNBC. It's a must watch. It will explain to you all the great stuff going on, as he put it, on the institutional side, what's happening with on-chain stuff.
They're buying. Institutions are buying. They're taking
he
the
made
money
that clear
from the
this
retail.
morning. Yeah.
So buy. I have no. You know what? It's interesting, Howard. I have just. I mean, both hands this morning. I've been buying like crazy. I can't stop buying this morning. I was like, excellent. This is what we mean, folks. It's happening in real time, right in front of you. When I say, look. Be the ticker taker. When you look at that 70,000 already, we're already blowing up. It's already going back up. That's what I'm saying. This and oh, that's right, Zora. One of my rules: always have powder. Always have powder ready to go. You never know when you're going to have advantages like this. Always. This is good. This is great. This is right in front of us. It's telling you exactly. They just shook out every weak hand.
We hope. We got to get that 5% bounce. I'm with you. I mean, I don't call bottoms. You're the guy that's more on that than me. I like what's happening. We've been watching it.
Time to buy.
Okay.
I look. It could go lower. I don't care.
Right. Absolutely.
I just
I'm with you. Like I said, if you watched Bullish's thing there, my only thing is you got MSTR on tap for earnings today, so we're going to see some undue crap happening today. I'm not scared. I know you're not scared at all, but that's my only.
Howard, you and I have been through this how many freaking times?
Joe Clayman said it the best. He said, he said, listen, I bought my first Bitcoin at 4,000. I'm not worried at 70.
$75. I understand that. And look, and you're gonna. I saw it earlier today. Someone said, I won't say their name because I know them personally. Oh well, the hodlers are only saying that because they bought so low. There's a reason why we bought low, because it went down then too.
Yeah.
I remember when it went from 19,500 to down to right 2,000. I wasn't scared. Then I bought more.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that. I remember buying at 75 and dumping at 10,000 and buying back. And we lived through that, Howard, and it was not fun. But you know what? We've seen this game over and over and over and over and over and over again. And the people that are getting burnt are the ones who don't really want to be in, or because the Genius Act and all this, the clarity, all this things are going to the House right now. It's because maybe the bad actors are getting out, right? But we are not. This is not an American machine here. Crypto is a worldwide machine that is giving, as you always say, the unbanked the ability to be banked. We are changing the system, and I'm not scared of this. And if you're scared, we went from 100 to 70, so it's 30% off. Okay, and actually, we went from 90 to 70. It's not scary. The numbers are scary. Ooh, boogie, man. So what? Let's go. I'm buying. I have been buying. I'm not scared of this. Let's go. If they want to go to 50, go to 50. I'll buy even more. Right? I love this. This is exactly what I like about it. Screw them. And look. It's obviously coordinated, because when you see it, look at silver. Silver's down. I didn't buy silver again. I wasn't scared into buying. Oh my God, the world's ending. If the world was ending, silver would be 5,000 an ounce. If the world was ending, gold would be 5 billion an ounce. It's not. It's they're hoarding too. We should take solace in knowing what they're doing in the gold side. Look, I get Peter Schiff. He's trying to sell his book. But this is great. I love this, Howard. Buy the dip.
I did. It's mine is set. I set my stuff before. I take the emotion out. So when it went below 70, it triggered a buy for me. And I'll set another one for the next level. And I buy it on the way down, and I'll buy it on the way back up, to both sides. And when it hits a level that I think it's overextended, then I'll sell some. And that's how we have to play it. You know, and again, you know, I've been saying we're still there. And Steve, the other part I will say is on chain. What hasn't changed still yet is we need the perp idiots to let go. And what I mean there is, yes, buy spot Bitcoin now. That's the right thing. Those that have been in a long perp losing position that are trying to outweight the market at 10 times leverage. And that's what it is, because we're still seeing three times the position long than short on these perpetual futures. So
here's a bigger thing. And look, I don't like legislating morality. I don't like legislating and telling people how to run their exchanges. It's not my position to do that. You're not going to be in a job. You're not going to have an exchange. Oh, our exchange gives 10x, 30, 300x and all that nonsense. You're not,
it's not even those big ones. I'm talking about the ones, the US, you know, CFTC, CME, you know, SIBO.
They got to stop.
SIBO and CME. That's where this is happening.
I will be the first one to go to Washington, and I will advocate to knock that nonsense off. Right. And it will happen. And look,
unfortunately, it's moving to where that same leverage is going to be in the stock market. So, you know,
yeah, I mean, look, we're gone to a gambling society, and that's okay. But that's why we're here.
I mean, it really is. That's the bigger problem, like you said, is that, you know, it was an interesting one again that I listened to this morning, because they were discussing. They had somebody on who was anti-gambling, and you know, the point was, you know, what's $5 today ends up being $50 tomorrow, ends up being all your money in a month.
They're not wrong. They're not wrong, but I'm not against gambling. I mean, look, I every once in a great blue moon, I go to a game and we're going to watch New England.
But it's that, they're doing gambling as a way. It's like I remember I saw a survey in the early 2000s, that where they went to, you know, depressed areas, and they asked people how they thought that they were going to retire or whatever. And the number one thing was the lottery. That was the number one answer. You know what I mean? Is that, you know, I would like to see that, and that had sort of stopped, and then people realize that's not how you do it. And it seems like it's
we
back.
need to build places like that. I believe that Vegas is exactly the kind of place. Atlantic City, fantastic. You know what? That's great, because when you go to Atlantic City and you go to Vegas, you know exactly what you're getting. And I like National Harbor. There's a little bit of a mixture there, in Maryland, and that's okay. But when it's on everybody's phone at every single moment and every single time, access, they don't have that control.
That access. We love it, but is it the best thing for us? Probably not. Definitely not. You know, I think we both would say there. So, Steve, volatility index continuing to pick up here, 21 on right now. You know, Google spending, I still can't get this number out of my mouth without gagging, $185 billion this year on capital.
AI's dead. Remember that narrative 3 months ago? AI is dead. And we on this show, you and I both said, no, I don't think so. They're spending way too much money. And Google just said, we're going to up it. They give a gigantic number, you just said, and they're going to say, actually, we're going to go bigger. Oh, God. NVIDIA just says they won't release a new graphics chip card for gamers in 2026.
They're taking a beating. They were up almost 2% in the pre-market. They're fighting to stay positive right now. So we'll see what happens there. They were leading. They were an early morning leader.
And this is part of this tariff nonsense. It's part of this isolationism. We've got to have chips if we're going to stay in the game here, folks. So the nonsense of tariffs and the nonsense of isolationism has got to stop. This administration's got to stop this nonsense. It's never worked. It hasn't worked. Oh, where's my $2,000 check? Where's my $5,000 check I was going to get? We're now $7,000 in the hole of the president. He hadn't even thought about it right now. He's too busy, right? He's grifting. I'm not being mean to him. I mean, this is what he said. These are his policies. So get it done. All right, but I haven't got my $7,000 yet. I don't know about you, Howard.
I did not. And I'm not running to the mailbox today to look for it.
No.
Steve, you know, Google, Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon have committed $600 billion to AI. So I guess, yeah, like you said, it's probably not dead yet.
Wait till it's trillions of dollars that they put into AI. The world's changing faster than people think it is. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to keep up, and guess what? Your dollars going into a bank is not going to keep up. It's already, if you put dollars in a bank, that's getting sucked down a hole, And let's look at the Dixie, 97.69. My God, the dollar pushing up, it's telling you everything. Look, these zero DTE gambling kids right now. Oh, I don't like this. They're spending too much money on AI. I don't like Chat GPT. Man, I heard the same when internet came out. Though I will not use the internet. I won't use it. It's nothing for me. It's a toy. My teachers told my dad asked me when I was a kid, why do I want a computer for growing up? I'm like, well, I think it's the future, Dad. Oh no, ain't the future. Learn.
My first computer was an Atom. Remember those?
Yeah, dude, I had one. You had to put the basic into it. They were shocked.
Yeah, absolutely. MS DOS Basic.
Right.
Run.
So when I look at the future, I go, well, guess what? The future is going to be a whole lot different than you think it is, and how we get there is going to be different. And they don't even know. That's why they're blowing big money on it. They don't even know. They're writing code as fast as they can. And this vibe coding, look, there's going to be this mass. And software's already seeing a dip in it now. Now there'll be a balance because we'll need software engineers to be able to manage it, but we don't need new coders because the machines are already coding half the software. Right. So I don't really understand that at all. Like a company that is coding right now is in kind of trouble, right? That's why I'm building what we're building. We're building things you don't even need codes for. You just do it, and it's awesome. And it's the future. But I'm looking at all of these things, and I'm going, okay, Google, show us, right? And you look at Google right now, Alphabet's down to 315. Yeah. You see, I say the word Google and then the house lights up, right? I mean, look, they're already integrated. We're still doing Google searches, not as much. I get it, Chat GPT. I got friends that don't even have Google on their phone, believe it or not, right? I was kind of shocked today when I saw that. That's what I'm saying. Like the world's changing. Remember when there wasn't Google? That was a brand new. Oh my God, dude! I can search anything. I mean, I can look up my house price. I can look up this, and that's awesome. And then we got to add.
Ask Jeeves didn't win the battle. That was my favorite. Ask Jeeves.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That data we went through, Howard, is exactly what we're going through now. That battle, that turn of the century cars. Which car is going to make it? Is it going to be Claude through Anthropic? Is it going to be Gemini through Google? Who's going to make it? And I've said it all along. It's the same companies that have data that are going to make it, and we're going to see that. And look, I think Amazon has the best chance right now because they're in everybody's house already with Alexa and with Amazon Prime and Alexa Plus now coming out. I've got Kindle. I've got in my house. I've got Google, Amazon, and I've got Apple now. I've got them all. All right. I don't know which one's going to win. I have a pretty good feeling that I think Apple's changing their tune. If you look at it now, they've included ChatGPT. They've included Gemini. They made friends with Google now. They're becoming part. They're like, you know what? We screwed up. We didn't get the AI right. We're gonna just buy with it. We're gonna invest with them, and they did that. Microsoft did the same thing with Copilot and Gemini. They partnered with it. ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not going to be ChatGPT as we know it today. It's all the partnerships. I think OpenAI might actually go away and become part of the companies that are already there. They just get bought out. They get them.
Well, right. And then the other part of that is that where people, I think, are missing, the software thing's a little overdone. I do understand software is dead, but those companies have data, like you just said.
Yes.
And so, an SAP partnering with Anthropic, these different ones is what you're going to see. They're going to integrate them. It's which one of these companies, like you said, Anthropic or XAI, who wins the battle to get more of those integrations? Who does it better? Who plays better with others?
Wow, here you go. It just came out, and it's almost like they're listening to me. I don't know. NVIDIA's warning President Trump, China's chip rules would hurt the export plan, according to Wall Street Journal. Just came out a second ago. There you go. Right. That's exactly what we've been saying. I'm not speaking just to hear myself speak. I mean, I'm telling people exactly what's happening in the world. Why? Because I have this knowledge. Why? I have these friends in Washington. I have these friends in New York. I know what's going on behind the scenes. I know the business side of things. Look, I'm here to help. I'm not here to pontificate. I've heard so much pontificating in Twitter and in social media. I'm here to help. We're here to help people. Quasar Markets was built to change the narrative, to show people how to profit from some of this bad nonsense going on. right now, I love Bitcoin being down here. The narrative being floated around all of Twitter and all this nonsense is the world's ending tomorrow. Well, it's not. Guess what? They're actually trying to solve the Iran issue. All right. But I tell you one thing, if the issue with Iran gets worse, what are you going to do with your gold and silver? You're going to barter with that for the cow down the road? I don't think so. The guy with the farmer with the cow is not going to take your silver and go, I can't buy another damn cow.
That's right. I only have one, whatever it is.
I can't eat silver. I can't eat gold. I understand it. I love gold and silver as an asset class. But if the world does, ammo and butter is going to be more important than so stop the nonsense and the narrative about the world's ending and I've got to have more gold. That's just stupid, right? If you want to have a diversify your asset class, then diversify your asset class. Absolutely. I agree with that. That's why but you don't need to have $5 billion worth of gold sitting here. I've heard all the time people go, well, I was so heavy tech. How do I diversify? I don't know. Not have everything in tech.
Heck yeah. Buy Walmart and Costco when we told you 6 months ago.
Costco's sky high.
Yeah.
And the narrative, Japan. We talked about moving money to Europe. I mean, I talked about moving a lot of my money into Japan. Japan's now at all-time highs on the Nikkei. Right? We know this. So we're trying to help people move to the next level ahead of the game, right? Steve Flanagan said yesterday he had a new trader coming in, and he says, "All right, take your $10 and divide it by 10. Now go buy the stocks you like. Now go trade with 10% of that. How'd you do on your 10%? Well, I made about 6%. How'd you do in your portfolio that you kept it in there 35%? Right? I love trading. I trade every damn day." Because I enjoy it. It keeps me going. But it's not how to actually do it. You have to invest. You've got to make sure that you put money away. You make money in profit, and my silver profits all went to investments, mutual funds, and here you're going to be buying more crypto, but Bitcoin today. Right?
I love it.
That's how you do it.
Awesome. Steve, I do have to take off here. My last thing for you, though, is this Dow theory playing out? And I'm going to set you up to talk about that because we're seeing that move back into the industrials, back into those areas, transports. Is that what we have coming on for us?
Yeah, look, we talked about this yesterday, right? Yeah. Steve Flanagan and I did, and I know that you and I talked about it too, and I'm going to share my screen if I can, Howard. I'll pull my window up here on the DJT. The transportation theory, Dow theory includes transportation, and I'm going to pull up. That's a weekly chart, folks. Look at that. It's just out of control, right? Because nobody wants to go drive to the local Costco anymore. And if you do, you just want to drive.
Share yours again. I apologize. I think you put mine up.
Okay.
We both had charts. Try sharing yours again.
Right.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, so you can see here we hit all-time highs in the DJT. I mean, it's just absolutely just through the roof here, and hopefully you can see that. Look at this. I mean, that's what's telling you everything. When you look at the DJT here, the Dow Jones Transportation Average, you can see here trannies, as they call them, on the floor. This is exactly what happens, right? And we're still pushing up. This is FedEx, UPS, this is trains and trucks and planes and boats and everything else that moves that stuff around. And you can see very well what's happened here. So I do like that a lot. I want to get right to it. Google. I'm looking. Look, I like this. You can see we're now Citizens Bank now coming in, maintaining a 385 a share on Google. I'm not a fan of Google. I know that they had a run there because they had been beaten up so much. I like Amazon here. If you look at the Amazon, this is a daily chart. We're getting there. And again, I'm talking about, and I say this as an investor, not as a trader, right? We need to make sure that we're paying attention to the investment side of things. And if you like options, fantastic. Go buy some Leaps. Our buddy Scott Bauer who invented them, right? You should, one of the guys invented the Leaps. You should look at this. And what am I seeing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, look at that. Higher bottoms. All right. Is the world falling apart? No. Now, let's get talking about politics. Ooh, don't talk about politics, Steve. Talk about politics. It looks like the House is going to go Democratic, period. That means we're going to have a split government. By the way, Wall Street loves split governments. People love split governments. They don't like all one side. They just don't like it. On the average, they don't like it. So that means that crazy rules and thought processes won't get passed. Democrats won't pass crazy anti-crypto rules. Republicans won't pass crazy tariff rules, and the president has veto power. That's why they love it, right? They have to come together to actually get things passed. And I think that's when you're going to start seeing things move back around and go back up. So this is what I'm investing in. I'm investing for November. I'm not investing for February and March, right? So I'm looking at this as an awesome buying opportunity here in the markets. And the narrative of the world's ending tomorrow is just stupid. So I'm done with that. Yeah, there's a long line here from, there we go, CNY here. I'll pull this up. I'll try to give everybody a good banner here for this. Let's see if I can do this for everybody here. What they're talking about with NVIDIA here as well. And I'll pull up an NVIDIA chart while I do that. We are about eight minutes now into the open here. NVIDIA's, getting beat up, but here's your moving average, right? That's the moving average you're looking at. I can see it here. I'm sorry, I should tell you it's 20-day moving average. It's getting right down to the numbers. I like this a lot. If you're a complete technical analyst and you do like that kind of stuff, then you've definitely got. There you go. Let's see if I can't pull up this for you as well. There you go. Add the banner. There you go. So I got too many banners going on here. Add the banner, and there you go. There's the actual. You can read it at the bottom there. And look, I like NVIDIA here. I think the president will change his tune, and if that happens, you can see. Look at RSI. I mean, you've got them all here, right? Williams VIX fix. If you don't know what the Williams VIX fix is, that means that people are getting nervous. There it is, rising a bit. But we all know what happens. It goes up a little bit, then it dies. It goes up a little bit, then it dies. It's going to go up a little bit, then it's going to die. And then we're going to push right back up. So I do like NVIDIA here. I think this is great theater for us right now. And this is this guy's at $210 a share. I mean, we're now, if you like at 210, you don't like at 173, right? I'm not talking about what to buy or sell. We don't do that here, right? Yeah. All right, if there are any stocks out there you guys are interested in, let me know. I'm happy to, yeah. And I guess we could, as we're going through this, it could just pull up. Look at the shorts here on Bitfinex. Yeah, see here? This is the shorts on Bitfinex, and look at that. They just were short in the market, folks. Okay. Look at the longs here. Look at that. Oh, there you go. Longs trying to push up a bit here on the daily chart. Look at that. Okay. See, it's turning. Yeah, it's turning. See? All right. Like it. So they're saying that they think that the longs are going to 77,000. So there you go. You want a 10% run? It's giving you the answer. And they'll blow them out. They'll blow them out. They always do. There's your Bitcoin. There's your look at this. All this. Now I'm going to pull up a monthly chart here and kind of show you why I'm liking this. Look, folks, we know this. We know the numbers. It's not hard to see. It's right here. The world's not blowing up. The narrative is just trying to push it down for us. If you just went in doubt, scroll out. We know where it's linear regression. We know where it's going. We know it's going to turn. Is it going to turn right now? I don't know, but the monthly chart's telling you that. So that's why I'm not scared. And you're going to kick yourself in the butt when we're back to 140,000. Oh, look at the world. There's some narrative. They're going to change it up. All right. Somebody's being asked about shop right now. We'll talk about shop. There you go. All right, Vish. No problem, my man. Let's pull up shop here. Are you looking? Talk to me a little bit about it. Are you looking and interested in the short term here? What's your time frame here? course, for me, Shopify is telling me a few things. Number one is that people, the narrative is changing, that people aren't really using Shopify as much. But you can see that there are some buyers down in here. This is the first stop gap. We're at it with the buyers. You can see that the sellers were right involved. Obviously, their revenue, your long-term cost basis, okay, with a low cost basis. All right, that's a different situation. So as I always ask people, has your narrative changed? Has your thesis changed on it? And if the thesis on Shopify has not changed, then you should be good. And what are we showing here, Vish? You're getting really close into those lower bottoms here. So, oh, well then, okay. You're probably a little bit nervous. You don't want to get back down to there, right? Probably got a little greedy. Did you get greedy on this and then take some profit off? It's probably what happened. If it's a long-term position, I do like that. I will say it'll probably get back up to about into the 150 handle here. That's about where it's going to be, right there, 132, somewhere around in there. There's your number right there, 136.25. You're going to have to hold it for a while if that's the case. I don't tell people what to do. I just tell you what I see in the charts. On a daily basis, if you can see here, I just drew this line. Well, there's the line. We're right at the line. It tried to touch again, so that's why I draw out. That's why I have my charts start with longer term trends, because if you start with shorter term trends, you think shorter term. If you pull out longer term trends, even if you are a short term trader, and then condense it, that's why you get a much better look at the markets. It's clear. I do like this. So okay, if you have a long-term thesis on this, I'm okay with that. I just don't want to go through it, go into my cost base all over again. All right, so it's a rule of mine. If the position makes you nervous, you're too heavy. Okay, so take a little bit off. Take a little bit off if you need to. I'm not telling you what to do, but if you're nervous, your position makes you nervous, take some off, put it away. Oh well, then it goes to 150. Then you're mad at me. So I can't tell you what to do. I'm just telling you, looking at this chart, good chance of it going right back up if it bounces off that. Yeah, I mean, as long as they're investing in AI and they're partnering with the right people like they are with Amazon, I do like that, right? So yeah, you're very welcome, man. All right, yeah, 70,000 again on Bitcoin here. I'm not scared about Bitcoin. Get scared if you want to get scared. This is when I get excited. I take advantage of dumb money. Okay, folks, that's what I tell people. Take advantage. Be the ticker taker. All right, we got about looks like we got about less than 2 minutes here to the open. I'll bring the cues up for everybody. That way we can get a good feel of the NASDAQ. I'm aware that the NASDAQ's going to take a little bit of a breather here this morning again. AI is running the show today. Wow, it's amazing how when we talked about AI and said, look, the AI narrative is going to be the narrative 6 months ago. Yeah. He says, I'm thinking of January 2028 leaps on Amazon 250s. Okay. Let's talk about that. Love leaps. Yeah, it's right in the middle. So you're not getting greedy. I like that. If you think 250 is the play, which it looks like I understand what you're thinking is here. Top of linear regression, charging back. And of course, we look at these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bottoms in the dailies. I like it. You're out far enough, and it's probably cheap enough at this right now. You're probably paying a little bit of premium on that. I think I haven't looked at the loops. So I'm not looking at the numbers right now. The options, I don't have it pulled up right in here, but I totally can see it. All right, I'm going to pull the cues up. We are opening up now, and I'm going to pull up a 1 second chart so everybody can get a good feel for what's going on in the markets. I do think that there'll be some buyers coming in this market, and I do like that. So I do think that's what I'm doing. As most of you know, I had been buying Palantir. I like Palantir on this pullback, and I am going to buy some Amazon. Pretty quiet open here. Very quiet, actually. Actually, I think I'm going to take advantage of this NVIDIA drop here. I'm going to buy NVIDIA instead. I'm going to do a, I'm going to open a trade here, and no, it's not going to be a crazy trade here. So Qs are dropping here, and I'm going to pull up NVIDIA for all of us. Qs are dropping. It's a 1 second chart, so don't get too excited. It's only a 1 second chart. $49. I think you're gonna be okay there, my man. $49 to buy 100 shares of Amazon. Pretty good, right? Yeah, I bought some NVIDIA here on this open and this drop. Alphabet, Google getting smacked a bit here. Yeah, and there goes the NVIDIA. So I do like this. I like this a lot. Yeah, I like this move here. And the world's just getting nervous. That's all there is to it, and I like it. I like it. And 70,254. Were you nervous down there? They just cleared everybody out. That's what they wanted to do. I don't blame them. There goes NVIDIA, the 1 second chart. Those of you bought on the open with me, you're already at the profits. But I'm buying. I like this. This is good stuff. I like this. I think another one that I'm kind of interested in is is Robinhood here. Robinhood finally might have their day here in courts as Hood just got absolutely obliterated over the last few days here. Look at this. We now got back into those doldrums down here that we saw back in July of last year. Now catching a bit here, so I do like this here. Yeah, I'm in at 174.61 on NVIDIA. But remember, folks, I'm making so when I buy things, I don't for longer term like this. I don't. Did somebody ask you about Palantir? Andrew left. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I didn't see the. Oh, there you go. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't see that coming in. Oh, that was this morning at 6:45 with our boy Howard. I'll pull that up. As most of you know, I am long Palantir. Again, same situation. If you liked it at 200, you're loving it here at 136. I mean, that's just right. Look, for those of you who know, I was the Palantir guy who called it at 35 and got totally reamed out about it. I said this was the stock that's going to take off, and it did. I was asked on Schwab Network about it. I said, not at 200. I don't like it at 200, but I do like it down here. It's a lot better. And we know that they're actually making money, and we know why they're making money. But my thesis on them is they got to change, and it can't be just all government. It's got to be more than just government. There you go. NVIDIA still sticking to that 20-day moving average. I'm not too worried about it. There's a big fight down here, and guess what? Who always wins in these fights? It'll be the people that are investing. So I do like this. I'm liking this a lot, actually. In fact, I think what I'm going to probably do is buy a little bit more here down here. So yeah, I am. I'm buying more down here. It's taken off again. So I like NVIDIA down here. 70,300 now on Bitcoin. I expect that to take off. Hopefully you stuck with me on the NVIDIA. I don't always try to been crushing it lately. Yeah. So we'll let this thing play itself out for a few days. I will not be taking profit on this today. I will not be taking profit today on this. So for those of you know, I like to trade. I trade fast and swift and furious. But on this one, I will not be taking it. I think we've got. I love these kind of days. I live for these kind of days in the markets, right? Where it's easy to win, right? This is an easy win day. So I'm liking this a lot. Yeah. And let's be honest, I honestly think that I think the market's gonna turn around here. I think there'll be some taco trade coming through, and president will change his tune on something, and all of a sudden, kaboom, kaboom. Looks like the Qs are trying to make a turn here, folks. Yeah, again, banging on that door there. I love it. I love it. Bring it to me, baby. See? Still trying to shake people out. Look at the selling. And then all of a sudden the buyers are like, you know what? This is where institutions get to have fun. Institutions, all that money sitting on the sideline that they've been holding up are buying. Retail are scared. Retail gets scared. Institutions laugh. I love scared money, by the way. Scared money makes me money. Now, if we can get above these line here, I think we can pretty much take off here at the upside. There we go. Pull up at a 1 hour chart, see if we get it. Now, those of you know me, I know Wall Street very well. 3 hour charts, 3-day charts, threes, threes, threes. Why threes? Because Wall Street loves threes. There you go. Give me another nice wick here on the 3, and I'll tell you. But I think we go higher, 175.50 now. So I think you're getting a good taste of what happens when Wall Street takes advantage of dumb money. So don't be dumb money, folks. Be smart, be intelligent, and stay ahead of the game. 70,500 now on Bitcoin. NVIDIA now the highest today. Palantir pushing back up 137. For those of you who are following along with me at home. And there goes the Qs. Qs are now popping up. So all that scared money that went overnight and all that nonsense that happened, they're buying up the dip. Look at that. People say, well, Steve, for me, it's not all about charts. I'm showing you charts, and my charts look a lot different than your charts. and I tell the same thing. If your charts look the same as it did 3 months ago, you're doing it wrong. You're not antiquating. It's antiquated. Your charts are being. You can't have the same thing in all the time. You got to move the charts around. You got to do it based on what's popping right now. Let me just do a drop down menu. That's just some of the things I have. Like there's a squeeze indicator I haven't been put on in a while. Probably should, because why? Because there'll be a squeeze. There'll be a short squeeze here coming up, right? They'll give you a good example of what you saw. You saw why the sellers happened. You're very welcome. And I appreciate everybody. Repost the stream, guys. We're crushing it here. We love this. We love you guys. We appreciate everybody out there. That's all those. I mean, look, this is a different way of doing things. We are old school and new school at the same time. We're trying to bring what I have learned over 35 years of trading. I have been taught and schooled by the best. Most traders will lie to you and tell you that I am self-taught. Well, I'm glad you're self-taught. Oh, I learned it on YouTube. Well, YouTube ain't gonna teach you. It may teach you the basics. It's not gonna teach you this. Being in the freaking trenches and learning how this works, right? I was taught by some of the best on the planet. I'm a member of some of the biggest organizations on the planet. CMT. I'll think of these places, these charts. This is what I mean. I want to bring that to you and show you how worked in the White House, State Department. You speak at the UN. Why? Because I'm not just learning from YouTube. I want to teach you what I've been taught by mentors that are strong and how they did it. That's what I want to bring to you. And we're doing that. And because we're able to do that to you and for you, we win 175.05. And on one condition, that you all do what they did for me, is that you turn around and you be good ambassadors for markets, not the bad, not that, oh, can't wait for zero DTEs and I can't do all these things. Be good ambassadors. It's okay to gamble. It's okay with zero DTEs if you understand them. If you understand exactly what you're investing in. If you can't tell me exactly everything, if you can't tell me the calculus behind it, maybe you shouldn't be getting involved, right? That's what I mean by that. Well, you don't have to know everything. You kind of do. And in order to do that, it takes time and learn from mentors. I didn't tell my mentors I was smarter than them. I sit and listen to them. I learned graphing. I learned technical analysis on graph paper and pen. Today, I can do this in my sleep. Andrew, I have several things. If you don't know, and I appreciate the show here, Andrew, asking what software am I using right now. I am using TradingView. Love it. And by the way, Quasar Markets is partnered with TradingView. We have a great relationship with TradingView. I'm a big fan of TradingView. And these charts and the charting abilities are all inside Quasar Markets. And give me a little bit, give me another month. We're gonna have something for you that you ain't even gonna believe. The new software coming out very soon. But sign up for an account now on Quasar Markets. Get started. It's a free account, and we're going to have something very cool for you guys very soon. Some very big products coming in, and a lot of cool things you're not going to see anywhere else. Why? Because they're in my mind that we had built that nobody else knows how to do. And they're, I can do that. No, they won't be able to because they don't have that knowledge. They don't have that ability than other teams. A lot of companies say, I've got three good, I got a guy. I hear this all the time. I got a guy that'll build your software. I got 1,100 people, right? Partner with Kiwi Tech, the best in the world, right? When I talk about, hey, I got a guy that'll teach you trading. Well, I see the shows here. We have the people actually doing it, right? I got a guy. When I hear I got a guy, I cringe really fast. Who's your guy? Well, he's no. I have several people. I don't even call them guys. I have several people. I think there's a lot of amazing women out there that are traders, and I love that. And we're about to hit highs of the days there now in NVIDIA. Why? Because there's all this. The numbers are there right in front of you. I'm not scared. Are you scared? Don't be scared. Take the emotion out of it. What are you seeing? 1, 2, 3, 4 lower highs. What are you seeing here? Higher lows. What is that? Talk to me. What is that? What do you see? I'll tell you exactly what I see. We're flagging, right? Pin it, right? If you can't look at a chart and tell me what these dojis and these candles and the Heikin-Ashi and the different ways, and you'll notice I have different types of candles here. I have them ready for me to go. Point X and O's, baby, ready to go. Now I do like Heikin-Ashi, as you can see here. Hollow candles. I've got, pull them up for you. Volume candles as well. People ask me all the time, what's Heikin-Ashi? This is Heikin-Ashi. Gives me a much better, cleaner view of the markets here. It also incorporates volume, so I do like that. And point and figure. those Wall Street boys, point and figure. There's your point and figures if you're looking at point and figure. But I really do like my my volume candles. And why do I like volume candles? It gives me a better, clear picture of on the upside. Are they more bullish on it? And the answer here, you can tell, is yes. And if we break this line here, we should pop right on through. And for those of you who paid attention to me this morning and bought with me, you're very happy this morning, by the way, on your Nvidia. Look at that. 176. We're at $2 already. Boom. Love it. 170. We're going, baby. Come on. Probably going back up to the 176 handle here somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, 177 handle here. Right here. See that? These roundabouts? Yeah. So easy. If you know how to do it. If you understand what you're seeing, how you're seeing it. But it's not just charts. It's also the narrative. The narrative here is that NVIDIA will probably, they've had a good talks with Xi. That helps, right? I will not be selling this NVIDIA. I do like NVIDIA here. I do like this NVIDIA move here. And I probably, looking at Palantir here, probably we will be. Yeah, I think I will be here. I'm going to buy some more Palantir here. I'm going to DCA down here a little bit. You might know what DCA means? I hear y'all thinking about in your head, dollar cost averaging, right? And I just bought a little bit more Palantir down here. I think I'm done for the day. These are the kind of days I live for, right? These aren't just trading days. These are days where you get to buy for longer term, bigger thesis, bigger processing going on here in your head. 70,600, might get to 71,000 here pretty soon as Bitcoin now is starting to move. Look at that. They shook everybody out. If we can get back up to about 71.6 there, I think we could easily push back up. But they cleared everybody out. There's all my lines. Look at that. All my lines down there. And now all the people that are shorting saying, we're going to 25 and 50,000. They're the ones getting taken to the cleaners today, right? This is just a rotation. Relax. Nothing has changed. The narrative's still the same. Banks aren't going to win. They already know that. They're the ones fighting all the crypto. I get it. I love banks, by the way. Huge fan. But they need to upgrade. They need to see, look at this. We're getting way outside the lines. Everything's changing. It'll turn. There's your daily charts. You'll get right back up there. And then everybody like, well, that was a great buying opportunity. And then you'll hear all the talking heads on all the nonsense and go, oh, I said to buy down there. No, you didn't. I copy their posts. Oh, wow. It's moving fast today. There you go. There's your 1 hour charts. Give me another good green one, baby. And we go right on up. I said 177 somewhere around there. And then of course, 178.62. We'll break through that. And then you really can go push right back on up, I think. Yeah. The dollar Dixie 97.75. If you're watching on this show, you know Steve Flanagan was right on target with that. He told you 96.20. You're crushing it. Qs are pushing higher here, folks. That means institutions are buying here. Yeah, I like this hood, Robin Hood down here this morning. I like this. We talked about that this morning on hood. Definitely an opportunity there, right in front of you there. If I were in your, if you were in my shoes, would you go Amazon stock at 225 or JN 2028 leaps? You got to tell me a little bit more than that. Are you looking to own the stock long term? Are you looking to roll them out down there? Or are you trying to make a trade? So give me a little bit of a heads up there, and I'll be able to help you out a little bit. Nvidia, Bitcoin slipped back down below the 70,000 handle here again. Look, there's still people trying to sell. Good luck with them. Have fun with it. You're going to get burnt. You're going to get blown out of the water because institutions are buying. Got about, looks like 7 minutes now at the top of the hour. 10 o'clock, we all know. Deutsche Bank now says Bitcoin sell-off signals a loss of conviction, not a broken market. Thanks, Deutsche Bank. We really don't need banks telling us about crypto. You do not want to own it long term, then obviously okay, I'm already heavy in Amazon stock. I would tell you protect your position, right? If you know you're heavy, then think about it. Banks advising me on crypto is probably not a smart move. And you see where my lines were drawn at the beginning this morning, right? And there it is, bouncing right off the line again, and we should pop right back up. And look, we know about all the geopolitical issues. I get all that, right? I mean, I understand that there's still all this nonsense going on around the world. There you go. See, numbers matter. Lines matter. Technical analysis matters. It's not everything. If your companies, you see people out there just charting. If you see people just doing the news, breaking the news for you, or you can profit off my news. If you see people talking about it, oh, just a thesis. No, it's everything. It's understanding every piece of it that goes into that position that you're thinking about. When people ask me about the position all the time, I say, look, if you can't tell me in 5 words why you bought that position, then you don't know why you bought the position. If you don't understand the stock you bought, we all understand Amazon because we all use Amazon. We all understand Netflix, and most of us use. We look at it. We watch the shows. If you can't tell me why you bought some biotech stock, then maybe you shouldn't be using it. Maybe you shouldn't be buying that. Look at this, right? Look at these numbers. Look at this. See here where the buyers are and the sellers are? They're matching. That's the market for you, right? That's the mechanics of the market. They're fighting it out. And they should fight it back out to the upside. do have to keep our eye here though on the dollar, as it is kind of pushing up still a little bit here. Masasan, ARM's CEO, ARM, his CEO, there's on CNBC, saying that Masasan is still bullish on ARM holdings here. Renee Haas is now on CNBC talking about it. Nice little bump too as well this morning. So the Q's pulling back just a little bit, some profit taking, no big deal. Who cares? Good luck with that. They're not going to shake me out of this market. Silver right now, 76.64. Wow. That is just a crazy market, the metals market. And I'll tell you, I've been a metals trader a very long time. And I do trade gold and silver, done it for 35 years of my nose. It's just crazy. I've never seen a market like this in my life. You're witnessing history, folks. Netflix, I've been talking about Netflix for a while, up 3.5% here. There is one company that everybody's soured on here. That is Newsmax. I've talked about Newsmax for a while, and I didn't think that they had what it took to be a news channel. I didn't like it. You can't be one-sided. They are. And this stock, when it came out, I'm not making it up, folks, was at $264 at the top. And right now, this stock is $6.47. Probably going to bankruptcy. I don't know. They're going to have to show something here. Bitcoin still slipping here a little bit, 69.2 now. I like it down here. I think I'm going to buy some more Bitcoin down here. Yes, I'm buying Bitcoin here. Yep, love it. Bounce right back up, I think. I am going to get back to the Qs, and it is 10 o'clock here, folks. So Wow, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody. Look at this. Q's right there at the 600 handle there again. When I'll pull up NVIDIA before we leave here. 174.13 below my buy. I'm not caring about it because I'm, as you know, I'm all going long here. I'm not scared of this. I love this. I think the sellers are just out of whack here, and I don't care. Hold that nose and bye. All right. Jolt numbers coming out now, and looks like Jolt says 6.542 million versus 7.2 million expected. Once again, Jolt's numbers are not good. That's job openings, labor turnover survey. I'll post that here for everybody to see it. And from well done, Svara, well done. That's love it. From all of us here at Quasar Markets, we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching.